So I actually chose the topic, the title and the theme this week, finding strength in the storm. So I've always thought of like my channel and these Sunday Inspiration Lives. It's also in these recent High Vibe Tribe meetups that we've started. This is a place where you can come and get away from the concerns of the world, get away from the burdens or whatever, and just come to a place to get to have your vibration lifted. And so we purposely don't regurgitate things that are in the news or dwell on what's wrong in our lives, because I think we already get a huge amount of that as we go through our normal days. And so here's like a little oasis. But I've always contended over the years that we're not doing this work is not about burying your head in the sand. We acknowledge the struggles, the difficulties, and we don't like turn away from them. We acknowledge them. We just do what we can to offset that negativity or those challenges with kind of overwhelm it with positivity. And so we because we're out of balance quite often, leaning more toward what's wrong than what is right. And so, but I have to admit, even myself, I'm Mr. Positive. It seems like more and more these days, there's something going on every week that we have to acknowledge. And I feel this, and on my friends and things that I see on social media, people are feeling overwhelmed. I mean, already, if you just take out things that are what do you call it, caused by humans, just natural disasters alone will be a big deal. I mean, would be something of concern where we're sending our love and support for the earthquakes and floods and different things that, like I said, natural
climate
type
change,
of things related to whether they're related to climate change or certainly that's a factor. Big time. But then you add the human things that are caused by humans. Earlier in the year, I remember so many weeks, the Ukraine war. That's just one. That's the one that's taking up the news. There are man-made wars and horrible things going on in different countries. Then you add to that
the safety of our children.
Yeah, and then we're still dealing with COVID. People, guns and. Individuals choosing to do horrific things that just disrupt entire communities and lives, and then on top of that, there's political decisions that are made. They're not in the best interest of the majority of the people in different places. So again, I'm not going to harbor on the specifics here because we all know what's going on in the world. So we're acknowledging them. So those are just like thinking of things from the macro level. And then on the micro level, each one of us individually has things going on in our own private lives with our families and friends and challenges. It could be physical. It could be relationship-wise, financial, so
health.
Yeah. And so all these things it can feel overwhelming, and it can feel like things are hopeless and you wondered what in the heck is going on. And so I thought it would be nice to have a theme here. And I'm going to turn it over to Pooki. I know she's going to speak well to this about how you find strength and balance in the storm, because we have to weather this storm, and I think that's our job here, is to help you, give you some tools or a place where you can get a break from that stuff. Again, that's why I'm hesitant to dwell on this, but I'm doing so in a way that's going to be helpful for you, hopefully. And so, that's why the finding strength, finding balance, finding peace in the storm, and channeling your energy in productive ways. So if it's okay with you, Pooki, I'm going to hand it over to you.
Okay.
And then I'm going to...
Yeah. The storm. So let's just take a moment to acknowledge the storms in our lives, the storms that are happening all over the world, right? That are impacting us in ways that, the kind of create within us an uncertainty about the future. So what do we do in times like this? What do we do when there's so much that's moving around us and it feels like it almost feels like it's spiraling out of control, right? And there's many things that we can look at in the world, and we can see where injustice is happening all over the world, right? And so it's so important, I say to you, that it is so important right now that we acknowledge what is happening in the world, that it's actually important for us to acknowledge it, to see it, It's so important, right? Because, and it's not to take it in, it isn't about getting obsessed in it or getting taken over by it or falling into anxiety with it, right? But you have an awareness. You don't have your head in the sand, right? And knowing that this is happening in the world, what can you do? What can you do? What can you do that will serve the world and that will serve you and your community, your family, your beloveds? Right? And so as we're watching this storm that seems to be gaining energy, maybe in some areas and some ways as we're looking at it, there's a beautiful place that we can be in the storm. And that is in the center. Did you know that in the center of a tornado, it's absolutely still. Nothing is moving. All the pieces are flying around and circling around and swirling around. But in the center of the storm, it is absolutely quiet. Quiet, quiet, quiet. Nothing is moving. Right? So my invitation to you is to be in the center of this storm. To anchor your feet firmly on the Mother Earth. And to feel the energy supporting you. Right? When you feel ungrounded, unfounded, uncertain, take your shoes off and go in your front backyard, wherever, and just put your feet on the earth and allow the energy of the earth to help restore your balance. She can do it. I promise. I promise. It's scientific. I promise. So the storm, it's all moving around you. And it's moving so fast. Sometimes it's even hard to understand it or to see it, but you know that it's moving, right? And it feels destructive. This feels like a destructive force. Right? And so as you stand in the middle and it's all swirling around you, you anchor in peace into your being. You anchor in stillness. Right? You're able to be that expression of peace and of grounded anchoring of love at this time. So some of the things that I know are sometimes really hard for people to embrace, such as this idea of having loving compassion towards all of the things that are happening in the world. Now, that doesn't mean that I condone what's happening at all. But I have loving compassion for those people or those incidences or those situations where people are out of alignment with life. They're out of alignment with love. They're out of alignment. And so I can have compassion for them. I don't agree with what they're doing. But you know, it is said that hurt people hurt people. And all I can see from all of this is wounded beings acting out of their woundedness, out of their own pain and suffering. And unfortunately, it happens to bleed out over to all of us, their wounding. So one thing that we can do is send our compassion for healing to all of these situations that are swirling, all of this storm that's swirling around us. You know? And as we're bearing witness to the destruction of that which we call holy and sacred, we must look to how it is that we can come together to create something new, the world that we want to live in. How can we come together to bring more love, to bring more peace, to have a vision for what it could look like, to dream together into the possibility rather than being caught up in this nightmare of the storm. Where are we focusing our energy? I know. It's a lot. I know. It's actually more than you know. There are many things in the world that we don't hear about, that never make headlines in our papers or make it onto the news screen. Because these people are marginalized and they don't matter. But there are many things that are happening more than I'm even aware of. And I think of myself as being very aware. But what I know is that we have the power to activate more love, more unity, more peace, and more healing when we are connected together and we are activated in creation, in the creation of that which we want to experience, the world that we want to live in, where everyone has their needs met, there's enough food, everyone has a safe place to live. Abundance is everywhere. The Mother Earth she is just bountiful in her expression of gifts to her children. However, we have some individuals that think it's theirs for the taking, or it's theirs for the giving. Right? So there's a storm that's brewing, and it's been brewing for a long time. It just feels like it's really getting bigger and bigger and out of control and more destructive. But if you can find yourself in the center of the storm and just in that place of absolute peace and stillness, bringing your heart into that space and sending love out to all beings, because anything that is activated in a destructive way is just an unhealed response to the world. So how do we heal? We love. We love each other. We love our lives. We love our unity. We love our ability to be able to come together to bring healing. We love those individuals. We send them compassion for healing so that they can heal, so that they will see that love is the answer. Love is the answer. Not greed, not power, not control. Love. And love is freedom. Love is acceptance. Love is liberty. So, there are many storms. And we're all experiencing them, no matter where you are on this planet. I know that you're experiencing the storm. It just looks different, right, for each one of us, but we're all going through it, right? And you know, that I was listening to, I was actually watching a movie during World Unity Week. That was the power of World Unity Week. We come together to talk about solutions to the storms that we're facing as a global community activated in love and unity and the vision of peace on our earth by 2030 or before. World unity. How can we have a unified voice? How can we have a voice that speaks to our wholeness, our vision as a planet, right? What we hold individually and together. There are things that are emerging that are going to help us get that voice so that we can vote, But it's like we have to be involved in the creation. If we're not thinking about the creation, if we're only into worrying and awfulizing about the destruction, then we're not going to be putting together the structures for the new earth. And that's what we're here for. We're here to put together the structures for the new earth. We're here to build that foundation, that scaffolding, that framework, so that love can emerge and that we can bring healing to the trauma. So they say that this last generation is trauma informed. They have less hope for the future. So let's give them hope for the future. Let's come together and show them that they're powerful in their expression, because they feel really lost right now and they feel unsafe, right? That we can say that for all of us, that there's an unsafety about these days right now. But let us come together into the center of the storm. And let us remember who we are. We are divine beings. We are here on a sacred mission to activate more love and peace and unity in the world, right? And that we are to bear witness to all of these things that are happening, and we're to hold in our hearts this love and compassion and come into that place of absolute stillness within our own bodies, so that we can be the radiation of light and love into the world, so that we can activate the field and bring the power of healing into our planet, holding our hearts together. Heart to heart to heart to heart to heart to heart to heart. Love, 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 love. Yes. So let's just come together and just do a short meditation, just coming together in this place of sacred oneness, this place of our divine unity, this place of our truth of knowing who we are, that we are ascending into the higher expressions of love and compassion and healing, and that we're bringing that energy into the world. And we're offering it. It's our offering to our brothers and sisters all over the planet right now. So I would like for you to just take a deep breath in, breathing deeply into the body, the breath of life, the breath of spirit, the breath of oneness, the breath of unity. And then release, maybe with the sound, some sort of exhale, and just release any anxiety, any tension, any uncertainty, any worry. Just release it in the exhale. And let's just do this a couple more times, consciously aware of breathing in love, compassion and healing, peace, unity. And releasing in the exhale any worry, doubt, uncertainty, fear, releasing fear. And one last time, breathing in love, 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 love. Love for yourself, for your family, for your community, for the world. Love. And then releasing all thoughts that are separate from love. Letting go of anything that isn't aligned in love through the sacred exhale. You let it go. Now just allow your breathing to just come into a natural state. Breathing in and out gently. And just listen to your heart. As we sit in this sacred place together, our hearts merge together as one living breath, one living expression of love. As the storm is swirling around us, in so many areas, not only in our personal lives, but in the world, we see the storm swirling around us, and we choose in this moment to sit in the center and to be a beacon of light in the center of the storm, a beacon of love, a beacon of hope for the future that we are now co-creating together as our hearts are unified in the center of the storm. Allow yourself to drop in to this stillness and to feel infinite peace washing over you. Washing over you and cleansing you of fear. Cleansing you of anxiety. And allow this water blessing of peace that's washing over you to bring healing to your heart. As your heart is receiving this cleansing, this loving, this embracing, allow yourself to feel fully into this moment. And as this fear, this worry, this anxiety is leaving you, see the light of love shooting out of the top of your head, far into the sky. See this beacon of love shooting down from your feet into the earth, anchoring and wrapping around the center. And then extend your hands out and feel it shooting out of your fingertips into every direction. Knowing that we have the power within us to bring healing into our world. And when we do it together, we are so much stronger. As you visualize this light, this beacon of light that you are this light already, right? This beacon of light. As you fully embrace this beacon of light, know that when the divine sees you, this is what the divine sees. This beacon right here. Your light, your love, not your physical body. Your light and your love. So as we sit here in this state of gratitude for being able to come to the center of the storm and to find our anchor, our groundedness in the Mother Earth, to reconnect and to acknowledge the beacon of light that we are in this world, and allowing our love to shine forth into all of the earth and beyond and beyond. And knowing that in this moment right now, it is so critically important that we do not fall into the hands of fear, of anger, of revenge. Be careful. It's okay to be angry. It's okay to be upset. But allow that to activate action in a positive, in a loving way, in the creation of something new. Yes. But when we move to revenge, There is never any good that can come from that. I promise you. Mm. Mm. So let us come back to gratitude and just a state of thanksgiving that we're able to gather together in these difficult times and find ways that we can support and love each other. And yes, sometimes we have to come to these places and to speak these words into the field so that we can receive healing and so that we can move together in love as we come to solutions that can bring healing for us all. The power is in the people. We have the power. You know, I say that I live by a law that supersedes the laws of the land, that laws that have been made by man. I live by the laws of spirit. I live by the laws of creator. Those are the laws that I pay attention to. You know, and sometimes we kind of get stuck in some of these places. So, and we're dealing with people who have a lot of power that are like wielding it right now. Yeah, so we're seeing a lot of power. We're seeing a lot of toxic masculinity, you know, in the world right now. And there's a divine masculinity. There's a toxic femininity. And there's a divine femininity. You know, it's like that balance, the dark and the light, right? So we don't get too, whoa, don't fall over here. Right? Stay right here. Don't get too far over here to where your head's in the sand and you're not paying attention to what's happening in the world, because the world needs your love. You need to be aware of these things. But once you see yourself starting to get like swallowed up by it, and fear and anxiety and frustration, and it allows you to not be able to function in a happy and joyful, anchored way, loving way, pay attention to that. You're too far over here. You got to come back into balance. Get into the center of the storm. Yes, it's all around you. Yes, yes, yes. But you're that beacon of light and love that transcends it, right? And shoots into the ethers and goes deep into the Mother Earth and spreads out across the land. Together, people, we have much more power than these individuals that are wielding power right now. Together, so it's important for our voices to be heard. Right? Because sometimes fear gets us to a place where we don't even know what to do anymore. We get so lost that we want to give up. No, this isn't the time to give up. This is the time to activate. So we're here to support you in that journey. So I hope that the words that I spoke to you were powerful and that helped you in a way to really come back to yourself. Right? Because these things can throw us right out. They can shoot us right out of our bodies and into some just really, you know, we just get lost in it sometimes. So we're here to keep you. And I'm going to be doing, pardon me, I'm going to be doing more of my YouTube. I tested negative twice. I'm good. I'm going to be doing more of my YouTube because I think that, you know, there's going to be a lot more need for people to have access to messages like this. So if you're not already subscribing to me, and my YouTube channel is nothing like this YouTube channel, it's a real grassroots, it's a real little baby right now. So if you want to help me really get born out into the world, go and subscribe, because I need about 250 more subscribers, and then I get to go live wherever I am, which is important to me because I like to be spontaneous. Subscribe to my channel on Facebook, on YouTube, and you'll be hearing more from me there about these important topics that are affecting us all as the storm is waging, right? So we're gonna survive this. Actually, I already know how the story ends. Love wins. So remember that. Love wins. Love wins. So you're watching the storm. It looks all crazy out there. Love wins. Unity wins. Peace wins. Peace wins. Love wins. We win. I think that why we're seeing all this right now is because it's the last gasping effort. Because it knows that it's not winning. Hate's not winning. Hate's not winning. So what happens? They push out the most that they can before the final fall. So we're all there. Do not lose hope. Do not lose hope. We're in this together. I got you. I got you. I got you. I love you. I love you so much. Okay.
That was awesome. So I'm even hesitant to do affirmations, but I created these affirmations.
No, you have to do it.
Last night, before I even knew what Pooki was going to say, or how we were going to address this. I actually would suggest that we maybe do something a little different. Instead of repeating them back, why don't we just leave space for them to repeat them back to themselves?
Okay.
Play a little background music.
All right. Yeah. So that you can feel it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because this is a different day today.
A little different theme. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we're gonna lighten things up here in a minute here. But yeah, I think it was important to do. So I'm gonna pull these up. I'm gonna say each line and just leave you space to say them back to yourself, and hopefully they resonate with you and anchor in what Pooki just talked about. So here we go. Today, I find strength in the middle of the storm.
No matter what happens, I stay true to who I am.
I will not let the events of the world rob me of my passion.
Moving forward, I channel my reactions into inspired action.
Together, we will weather this storm.
We will.
We will
We will.
indeed. There we go.
It's so important.
Let me turn this music off here.
Wow, and I didn't even know those were the affirmations.
I know. I had no idea what you were going to talk about, but they kind of dovetailed.
Usually we're not talking about these things in this way.
Right.
But there's a lot of it that's coming, and I want to make you aware that there's more coming, right? And so it's important for us to know how to manage, how to navigate these times together. More stuff is going to emerge.
Right.
It's going to cause more concern, and just know, but if you have the tools, you can navigate that. You can maintain your anchor. You can sit in the balance. We want balance. Balance is because when you're out of balance, right, you're either one side or the other, and it's unstable.
And I don't know if you mentioned this at all, but I like to remind people that when there's a storm, whether it's raining or whether it's a cloud-covered day, whether it's storming or just raining, and it seems like all hope is lost. Where's the light gone? The sun is still shining on the other side of those clouds. It's just being covered up.
Yeah, if you were in an airplane,
yeah,
and the clouds were beneath you, the sun would be shining all over you.
You pop right up. Yeah, so be the airplane, pop above the clouds.
Yeah.
And be the light, or know that the light is there. And so that's the work that we need to do, is to find that light, find that balance, find that calm within the storm, and don't let the events of the world rob you of your passion, of your joy, of your mission in life.
Rise above it,
right?
Anchor into the center in it.
All right,
you'll be okay, and we'll be here reminding you and giving you tools to help you do that, and as we journey together.
That's right.